All right, so here's a book. Here's a video with the books. I watched enough of the hockey games today to know I didn't care about the final. I didn't watch the final. I didn't care. It boring shit. It really is. Um, I know it's 3-on-3, and I know the younger crowd must love it. It's not hockey. I don't see hockey when I watch it. Especially when they're like, oh, the MVP of this game is Braden Holtby, and it's like, yeah, but whatever. Like, it's just I don't care. Anyhow, I'm just glad it's over. The more interesting thing is the Gary Bettman interview. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, and I know not everybody watches the All-Star Game interview. So I'm gonna give you my impression of what Gary Bettman said because I know it's gonna be reported on and people are gonna dissect it. I'm gonna tell you what I saw when I read between the lines. The NHL is not going to the Olympics. No way in hell. Clearly, the owners don't want it. Bettman doesn't want it. And he was really snide when they asked him about the players' union. He said, well, the players that are affected by it aren't going to want to go, but, all those other 400 other players, they're going to vote for 2 weeks off. He said that. He said the union will vote to have 2 weeks off. And then turned around. Then turned around and said, oh, players are complaining about a compressed schedule. Well, which is it, Gary, you little weasel? Players aren't that stupid. Some of them are. There are some dumb players in the NHL, but point is, you can't say the union's going to vote to go to the Olympics and then bitch about the compressed schedule at the same time, because those players are voting for the compressed schedule, especially those grunt players who aren't going to the Olympics. So why are they going to vote for it? It's not like they have to play fewer games. So this is all part and parcel of the game. Now, I agree with them on a few things. That where the Olympics are being held, there's no way in hell people are going to watch it. Not live. I'm not getting up in the middle of the night to watch qualifying games. Neither's anybody else. And the NHL knows it. Owners don't want to go because they don't want to see their players get hurt. He said it. And I'm glad he said it because I said it before the World Cup. That players getting hurt in the World Cup is just stupidity. It's not NHL. He then said the fans would rather watch NHL games than the Olympics, which is funny. That I would take issue with myself because I know for a fact that I hear everybody talking about Olympic hockey. Every man, woman, and child in this country goes nuts for Olympic hockey that don't watch NHL hockey. So he's wrong. The thing is, that money doesn't all go to the NHL. A lot of it goes to the IIHF and whatever other organizations are involved and the Olympic Committee. The IOC makes a lot of money. He seemed angry with the union. And then he throws in the union's already angry over these 5-day breaks the teams have been getting, and they pushed for it. The NHLPA insisted on it this year. Wow, Gary. Like, if you see the interview, you'll see it. He's very angry at the players' union right now. He is setting this up, and I said it back to last summer. They are setting us up for another lockout. And Gary Bettman right now is trying to demonize the players and their union every time he gets a chance. I know this because I belong to a union. It's what management does. Management will turn around and go, man, we'd love to do all these wonderful things for our consumers. Silly union. I watch it going on in the States. I watch it going on everywhere. Unions get demonized. It's very easy. Because being in a union, yeah, you get better benefits and you get better money. That's part and parcel of being in a union. But management will resent you for it. Because when they know that they could pay you a lot less without that union, they could treat you a lot worse without that union, but they have to deal with the union. They get angry. Bettman is angry. Now, here's the thing. Bettman's angry, which means the owners are already angry as well. And they asked him, well, do you have a deadline for the Olympic involvement? And he goes, nope. He lied. He absolutely does have a deadline. It is called June. Like, you can't have a schedule for next season not knowing whether or not you're going to the Olympics. So the actual deadline is pretty damn close. And I think they're holding the players' feet to the fire right now, saying, you guys want to go to the Olympics? Well, we're not going to give you a vote on it because we know you're going to vote for it because you're lazy pricks who complain about working too hard. So, because you're idiots and you're going to vote for a compressed schedule because you don't want a compressed schedule. Bettman logic. We're not going to hold the vote until you agree to lengthen the CBA. That's where this is all going. I was floored. I was floored at how confrontational he was with Ron McLean. I was floored at how confrontational he was towards the players, as if he didn't realize the cameras were rolling. I was waiting for him to turn to Ron McLean and go, let me know when the on-air interview actually starts. I'm going to want to tone this down when I'm talking to the players. Gary, you're on. Shit. Do you have a time machine? Can we start this over again? I often defend Bettman. I do. And I don't defend Bettman because I like Bettman. He's a weasel. I defend him because he is the owner's paid weasel. He says whatever they want him to say. And I know he's saying it right now, but my God, there's got to be a better way to say it. There has to be a better way to say it than the way Bettman's saying it. And maybe I'm reading more into it than I should. Let me know in the comments below if you saw the interview and you think I'm wrong. But I read into it. The players are lazy. They're stupid. They are voting for things that they then hate after. And we're not going to the Olympics. He had a couple of niceties to say about, he was nice about, I got to call all of the Hall of Famers, and I figured it would take days, and I figured I'd do about like 10 a day, but then I ended up doing all of them in 3 days. And when McLean said something along the lines of, well, how did that work for you? I was waiting for Gary to say, well, I had to call them all back 3 times before they'd actually talk to me, before they realized I wasn't just calling to be an asshole. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for, I called Pronger, and God bless him, his wife called him, and he said, tell that asshole I'm not here, and they hung up on me twice. It was funny. It's a game Pronger plays with me. Wink. Like, players don't like him. They don't. And this whole All-Star weekend, you're bringing up all these star players, and then he talked about the selection process, which sounds very unusual, but I'll leave it at that. But he talks about the selection process for the 100 in the last 100 years, and bringing all these players out and how great it is. And it's like, okay, Gary, so you're going to give all this respect to all of these veteran players, and you don't think they're going to be back in the locker room telling these guys, don't let them screw you over. You don't think a Marcel Dion is going to be saying, you know what, guys? The NHL screws people over, just so you know. You don't think these players are already talking about the next CBA, since clearly Bettman has a mental problem right now. A severe mental problem. So again, just let me know in the comments below what you think. If you're just browsing your way through, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And Bettman just really, really rubbed me the wrong way today. I watched that entire interview waiting for Rick Mercer to jump up and go, this is just a joke. The real interview is going to be on CBC's website. I was waiting for something. Ashton Kutcher to come jumping out and say that Ron McLean was getting punked. Bettman's a prick. There's a way to tell people things, and there's a way not to. I swear, Gary Bettman could jump up in a theater and yell fire, and nobody'd move. They'd tell him to shut the fuck up and sit down. Just the way he says things is aggravating. He's a horrible spokesman for the owners. So let me know what you think. I know there's a lot of dislike for Gary Bettman out there. I'll even put Gary Bettman's face on for a thumbnail on this one, just so I can be assured that people are going to make comments and people will come through. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to y'all again soon.